Disclaimer! This video you are about to witness is suggestive and opinionated based off my own experiences as a brony reviewer. It also serves as a starting point for those who want to become a reviewer, particularly in the brony community. Not as an analysis, and therefore can differentiate between other reviewers.
Stop. Can this person learn how to fucking pronounce words, please?
Well, not only that, I'm thinking, like, why is this so... What's going to be different in this video so that someone being an analyst can't follow these steps as well? I'm thinking, fuck it, I might as well just leave. I might as well just give up, because I'm not going to be able to follow this. I don't do reviews. I'm not going to be able to follow this advice. Is it that much difference, really? I've never noticed that much difference.
I mean, how do you teach people... Okay, so hold on a second here. It says here... It is also serves... It also serves, not it is also, you fucking moron.
I mean, she's like 15.
I don't care. That's not an excuse. It also serves as a starting point for those who...
Okay, well,
to become a reviewer, particularly in the brony community, not as an out... So wait, like no shit. You don't make a video teaching people how to analyze TV shows.
Oh, well, or is she saying that this video is an analysis?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Is
she saying this?
But that's not how it's phrased, though.
Yeah, it's phrased so weird.
And therefore can differentiate between other reviewers and their styles. Point being, this is just...
Oh, yeah, that's what she does mean. This is not analysis, doesn't she?
Well, like,
because that's what because she says, it goes on to say that there can be you can differentiate between people's styles. What the fuck?
I mean, isn't it kind of analysis, though? Isn't she basically, you know, in order to make a video like this, would you not have to watch other people's reviews, figure out how they do it, and then, like, to compile this video?
Well, no, because that's why she says that it's based on her own experience.
Yeah, but her own experience was based off her experiences seeing other videos.
Possibly, I don't know.
Definitely.
She might have just been like, oh, you know what, this is an original idea that I'm going to do.
And I know this because when she first came into the Rift, I remember this, she wasn't making videos and was a fan of all the analysis people, so she was watching. Boom. Also, point number 2, no shit, this is fucking opinionated and subjective. No fucking shit.
There is no how-to guide on how to make pony analysis that is an objective thing that you should follow. That's fucking...
Good thing this is only a 3-minute video, right?
Okay. I didn't realize.
Okay, you can count me down.
3, 2, 1, go.
You have been warned. So hey everybody, y'all know me as Lightning Bliss. I am mostly a reviewer in the brony reviewers community and tend to do mostly single reviews as well as collabs. I even done a few podcasts here and there, mostly targeted at the My Little Pony cartoon series. After getting frequent comments asking how can folks become reviewers themselves, I finally found the time to actually attempt to answer you all on this question. Basically, I'll attempt to explain to you the pros and cons, what to do and what not to do, based off what I know, and hopefully will point you all in the right direction. Let's be real here. The brony community is filled with reviewers, and if you really want to stand out within the groups, you've got to have basic knowledge in it before you proceed. Sadly, most do not have this basic information and never tend to rise to their potential because they lack the fundamental basics.
Okay, so the person telling you how to do review. First of all, the problem with saying how to and how not to do reviews is that there's no right or wrong way to really do a fucking review. That's the first problem with your statement, which is reasonable, right? You can do reviews in a multitude of ways in different forms. You can say whatever you want in your review. It doesn't mean that the review's going to have good rhetoric or be convincing to anybody. It's still a review, though.
Who are half these people?
I don't know. I don't know who these people are. I recognize some of them.
I do recognize some of them, but I recognize some of them as being, Red Cord. Oh, God.
Yeah, when I think of quality reviewers, I think of Red Cord and fucking Shark Discusses, guys. Yeah. And I think of... The point that we're trying to make here is that 99% of these people in this picture have no fucking idea what they're talking about or doing. No idea.
The guy over there with the fucking afro? I want to know his story.
That's Nigel Brony. Okay, let's resume.
Which leads to the question of why you are all here. How do I become a brony reviewer?
You should get on with it. Jesus fucking Christ, what on earth?
Thank you, Twink.
Pause. Why is this person trying to be funny? This person is not funny.
No.
This person is just not remotely humorous.
Come on, we got
What's that, by the way? Like, I know, but like, what? Okay, let's keep going.
First things above all else, you must have quality. The first thing a viewer will see is the quality of your video content. Sadly, this means you will have to spend a bit of money to afford the programs for such. I use several Adobe programs, including Flash, Photoshop, and After Effects as my primary footage editors. But bear in mind that I tend to go above the average reviewer.
She didn't fucking pay for those. What's she on about? There's no way she paid for Flash.
Oh, she certainly did.
And fucking Premiere. She pirated that shit. What the fuck is she talking about? What? You know, not everyone can afford them. Yeah, you included.
Yeah, like, you know, we don't know if you really paid for those products or not, but there's a very high probability that you did not, because we all know that piracy is rampant in the brony reviewing community. All of them I know pirated this software. Even if you do pirate, don't be a lying sack of shit about it. You know, I openly admit to the internet right now that I do not have a legitimate copy of Sony Vegas when I do videos. I don't, and I use it all the fucking time. And until Sony wants to make this product more affordable so that I can fucking afford it or justify paying for it, then I'm gonna keep fucking pirating it.
Yeah.
Period.
And I like to use animation and special effects for my footage, which can be said the same for some reviewers like Silverquill or Golden Fox. But since not many can afford these programs, there's also the recommendation from my friend Aeon of Dreams, Sony Vegas. Most reviewers I know use this, and they find it to be very effective and easy for use for their needs.
Didn't she just frame that as like, even though lots aren't affordable, or lots are too expensive, use Sony Vegas, which is really fucking expensive.
Which is more expensive than something like Photoshop or Flash. Or After Effects or Premiere Pro.
I mean, it would have made sense if she said Avid Movie Maker, because I could believe that would be cheap.
Windows Movie Maker, baby.
Yeah. Fuck. Okay.
2.6. 3, 2, 1, go.
Adobe programs are meant to be learned in a classroom or online education service, while Sony Vegas provides its own tutorials for those who are new to media editing. So get rid of Windows Movie Maker and buy a rendering program that will allow you to render videos out at 1280 by 720 or higher.
Okay, I'd like to point you to the example of somebody like Grade A Under A, who has 1 million fucking subscribers.
Hey, did he hit 1 million?
Yeah, and he uses Windows Movie Maker. I don't think Windows Movie Maker is really the thing you should be worrying about if you're trying to make reviews. Okay, I think you should be worried about other shit that we'll probably get to, but anyway.
Holy shit, he did. He hit 1 million.
I know.
Well,
it took him like a month to go from 400,000 to 1 million.
Yeah, it's fucking hell. Good for him.
Otherwise, most viewers will pass over your stuff based on the low HD quality. Which leads me to mic quality. Do not use the integrated mic in your laptop, phone, or headset. I cannot stress this enough since I've done it myself. The quality is poor no matter how well you clean it up in Audacity. Anything is better than that. I myself purchased an Audio Technician mic for about $45 off Amazon.
Well, okay. The point isn't that a bad mic doesn't mean shit if you don't know how to edit your audio properly.
Right. That too. I mean, this is clearly the case with her video right here. Her audio sounds odd. It sounds like she recorded it on a headset without editing it at all.
I don't know if I missed it. I think she might have said something like, "Oh, even though I do that" or some shit. But like then you're not following your own advice.
Right.
Fucking shit out on it.
I mean, I'd agree that mic quality is important, but it's not. Again, it's like the movie.
No. I don't think it's such an important factor, to be honest.
No.
I think like if it's really bad, then yes, of course, fucking do something about it. But if you can get a cheap headset with a pretty decent microphone, I used that for quite a while, then fuck it. I mean, like, who cares?
As long as people can understand you and the quality of your voice is not breathing and horrible.
If you have shit to say and people like like that you said it, they probably won't care, like, on the quality of your microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though others have been more keen to using another product known as the Blue Snowball, which you can also find on Amazon for a decent price. Bear in mind, though, neither one of these is considered high-tech for recording. But it's so much better than this! So invest in a good microphone. Do not use integrated equipment.
She was clearly trying to dramatize sounding shitty with a shitty microphone. It's not like she was just regularly talking into it.
Yeah.
It's not like it was a good comparison.
I mean, let's be honest, it wasn't even, like, dreadful.
And it wasn't even that bad. Yeah,
I've
that's
definitely
true.
watched a video, like, I've definitely watched videos with much worse mic quality than that.
Yeah, definitely.
And, like,
That
there's
were
people
good and you subscribe to.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, right. Right.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go.
Now, on to your on-screen OC design.
Microphones on most modern smartphones are actually really good. So what the
Back to Gray, didn't he use his fucking phone as a mic?
Yes, he uses his phone, he uses his Samsung Galaxy as a microphone.
Yeah, this doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, but let's just carry on.
Stupid.
OC design, let's see where she fucks up
Okay,
here.
OC does, oh baby.
Most reviewers we know of use them, so odds are you new ponies or non-ponies will be using them too. Don't be surprised when I say, do not use Pony Generator. Just don't. Please don't. A side profile with a random movements of the hooves or poor facial expressions, or even the slight turning of a head is not entertaining to the eye. It is boring and undynamic. Just don't do it!
Or don't use an OC
I was
at
just
all.
gonna say that. You don't have to use a fucking OC.
Yeah.
The title of this video is How to Become a Brony Reviewer. Blah, blah, blah. Disclaimer, this is my opinion. Yeah, shut the fuck up. Okay, listen to me. Did you know, Owen, that you can open this great program called Microsoft Word?
Just shut the fuck up.
And you can write a review of anything you want without making a video.
What? No.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? You can actually do that. When I make videos, I don't use when I made pony videos, or, I would talk about shit, I never use, I'm making a pony video right now. I mean, let's be real, this is a pony video.
Come on.
But, I don't use an OC. I never needed to. I have a video with 400,000 fucking views, an analysis video, without an OC. Right? You don't either. You use your face.
Yeah.
Why don't...
If I have me in a video, it's either video footage of me or that artwork I commissioned of my face.
Right.
Yeah.
Your one bad analysis, it's all you come on camera and just talk. But isn't that valuable too? I mean,
Yeah.
I get it. The OC thing is like popular and everyone does it and it's really easy. But it's not your only
just
option.
because everyone does it doesn't mean you should too.
Right. If you're going to make a video on how to become a reviewer, shouldn't you come at this from the angle of there are multiple options aside from just talking about the OC?
Also, she talks about how, like, oh yeah, you won't stand out if you've not got HD footage, and you won't stand out if you're using a Pony Creator OC, whatever, but you also won't stand out if you use just a regular OC, because everyone fucking does, and everyone uses the format of OC in the right, footage in the left.
There are exceptions like with Can Cream, but he is the only exception here, considering he keeps his viewers focused with his well-thought-out scripting and video content.
No, let's fucking pause. No, you can't do that. You can't, because what she was doing there was she full well that some of her friends used pony grids, and she was like, but not my friends, no. My friends...
Talk about double standards, hey? Like, right there.
Okay to use a Pony Creator.
You shouldn't use it, but it's okay if my friends do. Or this one guy, he's the exception to the rule.
Oh my god.
Fuck off. Shut
that's
up, you
so
dumb fucking moron. Holy shit. Okay.
Alright, Pritchard won't go.
The only way I would approve a Pony Generator...
Oh, pause again. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly her fucking point. That you don't need an OC. You just, as long as you don't need a good quality video. You don't need a good quality mic. You don't need an OC. It's the content of your video that matters. It's like she's kind of hitting the mark.
It's like she understands that the content is important, but she doesn't... It's almost like she doesn't realize... And the video's not done. But so far up to this point, she hasn't mentioned anything about skepticism or critically thinking.
Like if I was making this video, and we might be doing something like this because, hey, this is kind of similar to our topic for our panel, isn't it? So if we were talking about this, we would be talking about the critical side of it, the analytical side of it. We'd be talking about, like, what do you need? Well, you need a script, and you need to know what you're talking about. You need to just fucking write something down. Like, it doesn't matter, like, how you present yourself. Fucking present yourself with a still image, for all I care. Doesn't matter if what you're saying is gold.
Right, because what's the idea here? The idea is to create a review.
Yeah.
Okay, what is a review? What is the intent behind a review? Usually the intent is to change minds or to enact change in some way based on your critique of something, right? So in order to do that, you need to come up with arguments to your point. And in order to come up with arguments to your point that you come up with, you need to be able to argue them well, and they have to make logical sense. Isn't that the most important thing if you're gonna call your video a review? If you're gonna do reviews. I haven't heard any of that shit yet. All I've heard is aesthetic choices.
Admittedly, we are 4.5 minutes through a 14-minute video, but
I would say to her that maybe you should talk about that shit first.
This would be the forefront. This is the most important part of it, because at the end of the day, it's the content that matters. What this has been is not how to become a reviewer. It's how to become some YouTube famous personality.
How to make sketch comedy videos 101 with baggy fucking pony OCs. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Which brings us to the OC design itself. Check out the color wheel and play with colors that match and are not too strong in the eyes, and roll with it from there.
Says the
Check
person
out the color wheel and pick every color on it, as I did.
I was just gonna say that. Have you seen your fucking OC? It's fucking hideous. It's disgusting. Let's talk about the glasses on your fucking head and how they make no sense. And, okay, you're a Pegasus and an alicorn. What are these flight goggles? Are they reading glasses? I can't even differentiate. What are they supposed to be?
I think they're meant to be goggles. I don't know.
And the black in your mane or whatever, your hair with the rainbow just looks wrong compared to the white. Like, it just doesn't look nice. Anybody watching this video right now, tell me that this OC is very pleasurable to look at to the eye.
I'd jack it to it.
I mean, if you want to fuck it, that's fine, but I'd say you have low standards. But, like, just like the person giving you advice about color theory and design has an OC that looks like this on the fucking screen right now. So just think about
definitely. That. Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be taking some good advice from this person. Right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Primary colors that are very important to an OC, and with being one of the first things a viewer will take in when they first see your character come on the screen. Bright reds, or solid blacks, or whites, or even greens and yellows are not soft on the eyes. So bear that in mind when choosing your colors.
Pause.
Hey, what color is your OC?
What the fuck? Maybe we're jumping the shark, right? Maybe she's gonna say, well, maybe we're jumping ahead, sorry.
Well, she's gonna make some kind of fucking excuse to
maybe she's gonna say,
No.
I'll
tell you exactly what she's gonna do. She's gonna make some exception fucking rule to her case, like she's already done with her other friends pertaining to Ponymaker.
Like, the bright red thing, I get, because, like, there isn't much bright red on her, and it kind of makes sense, because that's literally kind of like, well, actually, no, it's not. I was gonna say that's what Rainbow Dash has, but Rainbow Dash doesn't have bright red or bright orange or bright fucking yellow. She has different shades, and that's why it doesn't sort of fucking eyesore every time you look at Rainbow Dash.
And though when I say this, but the fact I am an alicorn OC, do not choose an alicorn OC.
Stop. Double standards, everybody. Oh, I'm an alicorn OC, but don't pick that. Oh, my friend uses Ponymaker, but don't do that. Even though all of these people are successful. You have 16,000 subscribers on YouTube. Clearly you're doing something that people like. I don't think your alicorn OC has anything to fucking do with that. Nor do I think that Can Cream's success has anything to do with Ponymaker. Can you not see how your fucking points don't matter? How they have nothing to do with being a reviewer? How they're insignificant in the long run?
What the fuck's wrong with her hoops?
She has AIDS. Yeah.
Oh, that took a dark turn.
Yeah, 3 weeks to live is from what I've heard. But don't tell anybody.
Terminal AIDS.
Don't tell anybody though. I mean, this is a secret between you and me.
Oh, well, that's why she's pushing this video. Because she's gonna die soon.
Oh, so she wants to pass on her legacy.
Yeah,
right.
she does.
Yeah, okay.
Don't make the same mistakes I did. Don't have an Alicorn OC that's bright, white, and black.
When choosing to have one such as this, automatically people will assume you are 1, a Mary Sue, 2, couldn't make up your mind, or 3, you want to be better than every pony else.
Okay, I get.
Oh, you think you're so much better than all of us, jerk.
Okay, Mary Sue thing. I don't think that anybody watching an analysis video will assume that your OC is a Mary Sue because nobody knows your fucking backstory.
Well, yeah, like
No
that doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
Plus, I mean, giving backstory to your fucking the representation on screen when you do reviews. Are you what?
Why would you ever do that?
Who the fuck? What? The fuck? Who does that shit? Oh, I know. People who want to desperately be featured in like fan art and fan fiction and draw me and write fan fiction on me, please.
Also, this you can't make up your mind. I mean, I would like to imagine that most people who pick an Alicorn OC
Did make up their mind.
made up their mind and saw Alicorns are the coolest thing. I'm going to use that.
Like, let's be honest. Coming from a weird sort of angle here. Yeah, like an Alicorn is the best thing to be. So fuck it. Like, who gives a shit if you want to pick that? Do it. You might be like, I might laugh at you and I might say, fucking, why would you bother? But hey, I'll laugh at you and say, why would you bother if you created any OC and use it to represent yourself in fucking analysis videos? But hey, that's not the point. Let's keep going. 3, 2, 1, go.
This isn't going to change anytime soon, no matter how well thought out your Alicorn OC is in design or backstory. I would know because despite my efforts of working half a year to perfect my character so she would be better accepted into this community, I still get a bunch of grief for it. Alicorn OCs are simply frowned upon, and if you do not have the backbone to face that, then do not make an Alicorn OC. Continuum with colors, red and black, or more specifically, black and red, are very much hated upon for reasons of their own trade. The color schemes of these OCs put off the idea that you are a person who is 1, I am so cool and really edgy, do not mess with me. 2, or 3, I am a dark character with a sad backstory that defines me to the T.
Stop. She mentioned nothing about the aesthetics of why it doesn't work. All she mentioned were these cultural implications and memes and shit.
I love how like all 3 of these points are basically the same.
Yeah, they are. They're literally the same.
Yeah.
I'm so cool and edgy. Crawling in my skin is associated with being edgy, so you could say those are the same. And pity me, I'm sad, depressed character. Edgy. It's all fucking edgy.
Yeah. You could just sum it up as edgy.
And don't mention why it doesn't work in any kind of practical sense. Like why people would not like it, maybe based on other merit. You know, that is more. You know, before we had these edgy memes, there were other reasons why people didn't like the colors red and black together.
Yeah, there's a reason why. Like before, like fucking Shadow the Hedgehog, there's a reason why people didn't like red and black edge.
When you claim to be somebody who, or when you're somebody who's doing a video like this and giving advice on aesthetic just before about OCs, you would think you would mention something like this, but they don't. So it just makes me doubt their reliability in this subject.
What you mean? You had faith in their reliability?
I'm not saying I did, but if I was a random dude who came across this who knew nothing about her, also, who cares? You don't need a fucking OC for a video or to do reviews. So why are you talking about this again? But anyways, let's move on.
Yeah, let's keep going.
3, 2, 1.
Seriously, it is way overdone. Again, there are exceptions. People who actually work at their character development and explain themselves to their viewers. Like Tube Critic Y2K. The irony is, he and I still get grief for our OC designs, but at least we own up to it.
Tube Critic's OC design is not an exception because it has a good backstory. It's an exception because the fucking black and the shade of black and red isn't so sore on the eyes.
Right. Right, as you can see, I believe it's the saturation levels of the red is very toned down, and this red, this particular shade of red that Toon Critic uses, is more akin to a neutral color.
Yeah.
Which is why it's less jarring. But you look at his mane and tail.
It's still pretty bad.
Awful.
I'm not saying it's good, but again,
the double standards here with Lightning Bliss, who can't. It's like she's so indecisive. You know what I mean?
She doesn't want to tread on people's toes, which I get.
Too.
But in which case, why make the point? In which case, why not just say, oh, actually, there's a reason why red and black doesn't work, but it can work in sometimes. Like we mentioned, there's a reason why it doesn't work. It doesn't work because it's not aesthetically appealing.
Right.
It's not because it's edgy and memes.
My Ibn Maymays.
Ibn Maymays. 3, 2, 1, go.
Next, voicing your review. First things is to come up with a script and have your thoughts well typed down. Be sure to go over it for grammar checks and spelling errors.
Pause. Oh, okay, no, never mind. She was just about to say first thing is come up with a script. I was like, isn't the script writing, before, the recording part of it? But no, she was just about to say it, and
she should have. That's a good point, though. Why is she talking about this in order?
Why is the title voice your review for some reason? Why not? What the fuck does that mean?
Wait, aren't we talking about writing a script right now?
Yeah, apparently, because she just mentioned, first off, write a script, and just as I hit the
I hate this video. Let's resume.
Yeah,
If you're not confident in this, get someone to help you go over it. The worst thing you can do is attempt to record your lines and fumble on your words repeatedly because you didn't look it over the script very well. Your very best to sound.
She literally just had a thing in the corner that said some shit like, I just did it there, or something. But again,
I mean, she's very autistic. We have to give her some credit.
One thing that I never get that. Write a script, and even if your script is not great, and if you fumble over a line, just re-record it.
Right.
I don't get that shit. I've seen.
What's this idea of sitting there and just going through the whole script, even if you fumble? No, if you fuck up, you go back and re-record it, right?
Yeah.
Also, I before you say anything, I'm gonna forget this. She first began talking about, so the title came up, voice your review, and she started talking about writing a script. And then she got into recording the lines for that script in the middle of explaining writing the script.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what my point is it's very disjointed. It's like she doesn't just talk about the script and then talk about recording your lines. She just talks about kind of writing the script. Oh, and then kind of recording the lines, and then kind of back to the script. It's not very well organized.
I really hope that's not what she does.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, do you remember Pokey Pro?
Oh God, yeah.
Because he used to do that shit all the time, didn't he? Where he used to, where he would record in one session, and I used to keep saying, "Why the fuck are you not re-recording lines?" And he just he would just get mad at you if you questioned
his
not
process.
recording them. Yeah, and it's what the fuck, just re-record. It's not that difficult.
Right.
There's no one thing I think is that some people almost think that there's shame in having to re-record a line. Some people will. I know
there's more shame in you sounding like a fucking autist.
Yeah, I just
can't pronounce words, right?
I just get the impression that some people make a video and they think, oh no, I have to be flawless. I have to be one take me. I have to do it all in one go.
It's this idea of chasing perfection.
Yeah,
right?
But no one does that. You look at the big people, Digi and Tommy. And Anthony C, and then let's maybe go to this lot here. You think Silver Quill and KP. There is no way that any of them just do it all in one take.
I mean, you're right. Yeah, KP does it because remember,
KP does it because she gets people to edit her audio for her and chop up all of her.
Right.
Takes.
When I got her audio. Right, because I applied.
Yeah, I did the same. I applied as well. Yeah, I did the same.
Well, I mean, I wanted to put horse porn into it. You were just a faggot who wanted to actually edit her videos like a dummy.
I did at one point. Yeah.
But anyways, her audio, she does 8 takes or some shit.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's normal. Just retake your fucking part. It's not hard.
Yeah.
Do your very best to sound natural. If you come off as monotone, flat, or not put any effort into your voice, then your audience is going to get bored really fast, or very annoyed. All the mic, video, and OC quality will not save you if you don't have a catching original voice. Again, there are exceptions to this, like Dr. Wolf, because his voice works to his persona. He's what some of us would call the Brony Rogers of our community, and tends to work with his voice by being naturally comforting and easy to listen to. But if you have a voice like that and pair it with a killer-looking rock-out OC design, then it's going to create confliction.
Rock.
Pause.
The fuck is this? the fuck is this? What is this shit? What is this?
Please, I just want to ask you, please kill yourself. Thank you. Okay.
That's not a question. You fucking...
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, I'm sorry. Will you? Everything I said so far is not credible because I just contradicted myself.
Everything I said is wrong.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. Will you please kill yourself? Question mark. Okay.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Then, of course, there is how you intend to address your audience. There are 2 ways you can do this, either through intelligent engagement or charisma. You have to be careful of which one you choose because each one has its pros and cons. Whereas intelligence can be engaging to make your viewers think, it can come off as dry and boring, which means you'll have to rely heavily on your facts and artwork and video editing to keep them focused. As for charismatics, I did mention that they could talk about anything without it having to be relevant, right? Which means you're in for a long haul. It's easy to go off topic of the review and cause more harm than good. And depending on the style of your efforts will determine if you meet a big audience.
Yeah, shouldn't this be intelligence and charisma, not intelligently and charismatically? Just.
I love how she says that, like, if you're intelligent, you can be boring, so you have to, like, have good editing skills and shit like that, otherwise people are gonna find boring. What? That kind of is our whole point. But, like, she's not talked about... That would be a brilliant moment to talk about, this is why you need to have points that make sense. This is why you need to come across as if you know what you're talking about.
Right.
This is why... But she doesn't. She just says, well, if you're not charismatic, if you're just intelligent, and you make intelligently videos, as she puts it, then people are going to find you boring without even mentioning that, hey, you can do both, you know?
Right. I mean, I kind of think of Jerry Pete when you bring that up, where his arguments are always,
I might not agree with his argument.
No. It's sophistry, right? Like I was talking to you about earlier. And the great thing about sophistry is that when you believe somebody who's making a sophist claim, they're coming off to you as being very intelligent and knowing exactly what they talk about, even though they don't. But that can explain Jerry's popularity, though, to some extent, because he sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And I won't fault that at all because to be honest, like,
No. I wouldn't.
If you sound like you know what you're talking about, then people will, that's just how it works. There's nothing wrong with that because that's how, like, I assume most people want to get across. You don't want to come across as this, like, timid kind of, I kind of half think this sort of thing that I'm making a video about. So, why else would you?
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
They talk about their opinions, but do so in style. And that can be opinionated by the audience as well. Sadly, there is that rare side of talent where people have both of these abilities.
Sadly, as if I'm jealous that some people can do both of these things.
Guess.
Which is untrue because most people, when they make a video review, have some degree of charisma and intelligence. Right? Even somebody really dry and boring like Miss Antherpony obviously has some kind of charisma that people enjoy.
Yeah, because what that implies is that, like, you're either, like, a robot who makes complete on-point,
intelligent
discussion,
Right.
But you're, like, boring as fuck, or you're the most exciting person in the world, but you're retarded.
Right. It's not one or the other.
But that's not
it's
how
just
it
different
works.
levels of both.
Yeah.
You know, like, why are you so stupid?
One perfect example of having both would be Silver Quill. Silver is able to engage his audience through facts of his review as well as bring a fun-filled entertainment to his presentation. This is one of his natural talents based off meeting him in the flesh myself. It's a rare gift to present so easily as he does.
Okay, so her assertion is this is a natural talent, as if he was born with the ability to make great videos and to be very charismatic and intelligent.
Well, I mean, being charismatic is partly natural.
No, I don't think it's really natural. I don't think anybody is born being charismatic. I think that...
No, I don't mean it in that sense. I mean it in more like...
I mean, you could just say he is charismatic.
Yeah.
I'm just pointing out the retarded notion of this natural argument or whatever, but anyways.
I mean, like, true, yeah. Like, I guess what you're saying is that anyone can be charismatic.
Right. Clearly he learned to be this way through some means. You know?
Yeah, cool.
It's not like God granted him the ability to be super charismatic and intelligent, you know?
Oh, I wish God would grant me the ability to
But
do
clearly Lightning Bliss here wishes that she could be granted that ability, because earlier on she said it's sad that some people can do that.
Oh, yeah, it's sad that some people can be both charismatic
Woe
and
is
intelligent.
me! I'm just not charismatic or intelligent enough. And you're right, you're not, which is clearly indicated by this video.
You're not either. You are the rare occurrence when neither is.
You're the rare occurrence of Down syndrome. Okay.
Alright, let's keep going. 3, 2, 1, go.
And would require practice as well as experience. Now that is covered, we can now approach to actually setting up your review. Before I get into the specifics of setting everything up, there's one thing I have to clarify before you should ever start making a review. Please don't half it. The definition of this can mean a person who basically puts absolutely no effort into everything I just said above.
So what she's saying is, so her definition of half and half it, which I have no idea what the fuck she means, means she just said, if you don't pay attention to the things I just mentioned, then it will be shitless. It's basically what she's saying, right?
Okay, so half and half refers to various beverages or liquid foods made up of an equal parts mixture of two substances. So when you say something is half and half, you would mean that I would do half the intelligence and half the charisma in that example.
No. I think now she's saying that one half is the things she just mentioned about your overseas.
No. I know that. But what I'm saying is to contextualize her use of the word with an example would be if I were to half and half something, I would in fact. Half of this drink in a cup and half of this other. That is half and halving. You know, it is not what she's talking about. She doesn't know what it fucking means. She thinks it means not putting effort into something.
She thinks it means only putting half the effort into it. Only like one part. Right, yeah, of course. Which there's another phrase that escapes me now. I've got.
Yeah, I know what she's talking about.
My mind has gone blank. Now I've just got half and half in my head now. My mind has just gone blank. I don't know what it is, but I know what she means. She don't half-ass it.
Right.
That's what she means.
She's stupid, so we have to forgive her. I mean, she's clearly too dumb to know this, but okay.
Okay, yeah.
I know, don't insult her. Don't be a bully, Sheldon. I know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for pointing out your stupidity. My fault.
Let's keep going.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Though this would be considered nitpicking of all he or she does, this isn't even the full rainbow of it all. What really means is the person is merely recapping the entire episode. This is a mistake that occurs with a lot of rookie reviewers, where basically they simply tell us what the episode is about, but they never go into any topics such as, what did they like about it? What did they hate about it? What could have been done better? Or what do you think could have been improved in the episode? Or they do speak about their opinions or views on it, but they are way too safe or pointless, and don't really contribute to the reviewing itself. Now, if this isn't obvious enough of why you shouldn't do this, then here's the primary reason. More than likely, your audience has already seen the content you are reviewing, and don't want to hear about what the episode is, but rather they want to hear your thoughts on it. There's no need to go through all the details about the episode, unless you have something to say about it. Now that that's out of the way, when addressing your points in your review, it helps to give a strong reaction to what you think about the episode's content. If something makes you angry, even just the tiniest, but you want to get your point across about it, then you need exaggerate this feeling.
But no, this is not an important part of critical thinking.
Right.
This is not, you don't like get angry and then get really angry on purpose. Like, yeah, no, you don't fucking, no. Fuck
I mean, she's clearly fucking contradicting herself, and she doesn't understand, like you just said, in humor in some cases. Like, if I think about Jesse Wood, he makes tons of jokes about the episodes and relating them to his life, and very hyperbole, it's in hyperbole.
Yeah.
But he's not using that as an actual fucking, down-to-earth, serious point. He's trying to be funny.
Yeah, he uses that for comedy. But, like, I know, but yeah, that is some, like, I see that shit all the time. When you see it, someone who's made a video, and they might not like an episode, and they're trying to be really serious about it. I don't like this point, and to emphasize how serious I am, I'm going to shout at the top of my lungs. And I think, fuck off, I don't care if you're going to shout at the top of your lungs. I don't want to listen to you shout at the top of your lungs.
You know what's funny too? Like in her example, if something really makes you mad about whatever point, and then you get really angry about it, and you just but your tone is serious. Like, for example, if I'm like, yeah, Rainbow Dash did this thing and she made me angry. Yeah. Like, it makes you sound like you're just taking it too fucking seriously.
Yeah.
At the same time, and I think that off-puts a lot of people. Now, you can do that if you want. That's fine. But, that's very off-putting to me when I see some Aspie trying to be serious and then get super angry, and I just think you're fucking retarded. Like,
I know we keep bringing up Anthony C.
Yeah.
Good example of that he does that, where he will accentuate the point, but he does it for humour. And the best example was the Cantaloupe Wedding one, where it begins with him shouting, "I don't like this episode, it's a bad episode, and you should feel bad when watching it."
Right.
And it's obvious, because of what he's saying, that he's not being completely serious.
Well, it's obvious that it's a fucking joke.
Yeah, it's obvious that, like, the joke is, like, the joke about, yes, you should feel, this episode is so bad, it should make you feel bad. Like, that's not serious, like, obviously. And people try to do that. They try to do the same thing, because he did it.
Right.
And they do it wrong. They don't get the point. They miss the mark.
Right. They don't have the delivery, they don't have the timing, they don't have the knowledge to construct a joke like that. They just think that yelling really loud equals really funny.
Hilarious, yes.
Right, But anyways. Okay.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go.
Reviewing is an examination or assessment of a topic or idea while giving criticism or correction in the eye of the reviewer. Whereas analysis is the process of breaking down a topic or substance into smaller parts in order to gain a better understanding of it using facts.
That's the chemistry definition of analysis, is breaking down a substance into its components.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, she said substance.
She
What?
said substance.
How could she be that stupid?
She said substance.
As if
it's like a physical object that you can break down into its atomic components.
I'm just gonna take this episode of My Little Pony and melt it down in my Bunsen burner, man. And put it under a microscope and analyze the molecules.
I want to see it lost 50 grams of weight when I heated it up to boiling temperature. So I could advise that 50% of this video was made up of water. Fuck me in the arse.
Holy shit.
I'm gonna do that now. I want to do actual fucking analysis. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Okay.
Holy shit.
3, 2.
Fuck.
That's so ridiculous.
Oh my god.
How do you fuck that up? Like,
look at us laughing about the way definition of analysis.
I mean, it's just like
analysis.
I know that when you look up a word, words can have multiple definitions pertaining to different contexts. But like, are you reading the fucking definition? Like,
she must have been. Yeah, she had to be if she read out the word substance.
She's like, oh, substance. That means substance of story. Okay.
She probably does think that. Oh god.
Okay.
All right.
Oh my god.
3, 2, 1, go.
Typically, reviews are the fun way of going over My Little Pony episodes. It allows you to create fun media, scripts, and jokes, as well as use of pop culture references.
Eben Mays! The use of Eben Mays in review videos pisses me the fuck off.
I know. I don't like it.
God.
A lot of them do it still too, and even really subtle stuff, or not subtle stuff that's been going on for so often that you don't even think of it as a meme anymore, like brohoop and every pony. You know, even saying shit like that, that's just Evan fucking May shit. You know, you don't need to say that shit. And
I think like the worst thing is not necessarily like making the Evan May or making the reference in like your dialogue. I think the worst one is when people do shit where they literally take footage from like some TV show and put it in place.
Oh yeah, that I know what you mean.
Yeah. I think that's the worst.
It's like the M. Bison thing or whatever, right? From the Street Fighter movie, when people insert that kind of shit into the video to make a joke. It's like everyone just stop. Everyone does this. It's not clever. It's not funny. It just makes you look very unoriginal.
Also, be careful on your timing. Try to keep it under 15 minutes at least, unless there is an exception with a collaboration. Most viewers get bored pretty quickly after the first 10 minutes of a video.
I got bored after the first 20 seconds of this fucking video. I just want to put that out there. So maybe, if you're, if you want to hit that 10-minute benchmark, Lightning Bliss, you have a little bit of work to do. It's okay.
I'm just saying that I definitely got bored by 10 minutes. That doesn't say that I wasn't
no doubt.
bored at like 4 minutes. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you'd have to be crazy to find this entertaining for any, over a minute.
And unless you can keep a constant entertaining experience, then it is recommended to keep the reviews short and simple. Be original, be creative, be bold, and above all else, have fun. Hope you guys enjoyed this little insight of becoming a brony reviewer.
Okay, I'm not listening to that.
Oh shit!
So I guess. Well, hold on.
She's just.
We have to give her some credit. She did try, or she at least attempted to talk about analysis and critical thinking.
Kind of.
She tried. I mean, she didn't do a very good job explaining what that was. I mean, her basic explanation was, construct your opinion, and don't make it like just commentary, which I guess is like a kind of a point. But I mean, that's not really going into any depth about it. So, Owen, what did you think of Lightning Bliss's To Become a Brony Reviewer? Is this the next box office hit on YouTube?
I think I've been doing it wrong all this time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So what have you taken from this? So how are you going to change your content in the future?
I'm going to start using more Evan Mays. I'm going to get an OC created for me, Stat.
Yeah, that's probably
it's not going to be red and black, and it's not going to be an alicorn.
Well, why
because
not?
That's bad.
Right, she did say it was bad. Yeah, the double standard thing, right? Yeah. So wait, everything she said in the video not to do, we can do it if we become her friend. That's what you're saying. Then it's okay if we do it. It's okay. We are the outliers, so to speak. We are allowed to do that. We have permission.
I completely agree with you. That is exactly 100% correct. If we become her friend, we can do this. I think we can become the next big thing in horse analysis, Sheldon.
Wow. Well, my dreams will come true. Finally, after all these years.
Holy fucking shit.
Yeah. I thought that video was fucking terrible, and
yes, of course.
It was absolutely retarded, and just
maybe a couple of redeemable points, but a couple, like out of the 100 that she made. Sheldon,
good job.
We just turned a 14-minute video into an hour and 20-minute video.
That's okay.
How the fuck did we manage that?
Well, I guess I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
He ended up chucking me out and ended up accusing me of his and Ellie's breakup. Whenever I tried to explain my side of the story, nobody would listen.
This is the biggest fuck up in the analysis community, and it's going to be a black mark on it, most likely forever.
Because time after time, those with the power to do something about it brushed his behaviour under the rug.
It should have been disassociated with when he used his fucking fanbase as a hypothetical lynch mob.
Thinking back, there are a lot of things I I should have done differently. A lot of things all of us should have done differently, but at the very least, I can say I never kept quiet about Zach when it counted.
We are learning.
I've been around the community for a long time, long enough to see firsthand the effects of blind faith in the more popular phony YouTubers. In the past month, we've seen what can happen when such faith is allowed to run rampant, unchecked. What we've seen is the cost of complacency. Ousting Toon is the correct path to ensure the safety and well-being of the community, but he was merely a symptom. And because of that, I am left wondering, will the community treat the cause, or just the symptoms? And to answer that question, I'm putting forward this video. This won't be about Toon Critic, but about someone who used to work with him. Someone who has been engaging in some shady activity with her artwork for years now, but has been protected tooth and nail by the analysis community. Those of you involved will know exactly where this is going. In communities like the MLP fandom, works of art are valued above nearly all else. Each person tends to hold artwork in high regard and will often seek out artists to commission for pieces of their original characters, or whatever have you. And due to the high demand, you'll find no shortage of artists throughout the community. However, with so many artists, it's inevitable that there will be plenty of bad apples, like Fallen Wish, Spicy Demon, or Lightning Bliss. Back in mid-2017, an intense discussion happened in the replies of one of Robin0928's tweets concerning a recently commissioned rig. Minty Root had shown up in the comments and began informing him that the artwork he had paid $60 for had been made from stolen double rainbow assets, to which Lightning Bliss and her flock of blindly faithful fans took offense to. A well-intentioned comment to inform someone that they had been scammed turned into an avalanche of constant back and forth, as Minty provided constant evidence to his claims, only to have people deny it, attack him as a person, and insist that he should have no reason to care if someone else is getting scammed. Which is honestly borderline sociopathic season, but this isn't really about you at the moment. There may be some of you who still have doubts about this whole situation and trust Bliss over Minty Root. After all, she did tell him that he was slandering her, or spreading false information that is damaging to someone's reputation. This is a serious legal claim after all, and surely she wouldn't say such things if they weren't true. After all, if she were lying, that ironically would be slanderous enough that Minty would have grounds to open a civil lawsuit. Well, behind the scenes, she openly admitted it. In PMs with no one else than Buttons. She stated in no uncertain terms that, yes, the puppet was stolen, remixed. But apparently not so remixed that Minty Root couldn't come in and tell they were the exact same puppet and prove how. And although you seem to think that there is nothing wrong with it, the assets were released under a certain licensing, the Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike 3.0 license. A bit of a mouthful, isn't it? Sounds tough to understand, doesn't it? Well, fortunately, copyright is a very important thing in this day and age, and there's plenty of online resources to help you understand each licensing and to make sure you remain in compliance with it. But, to be blunt, yes, Bliss is allowed to modify and build upon the artworks. She's free to use any of the assets in her online works as she pleases. However, the licensing comes with some strings attached. Some restrictions and conditions. Let's go over them real quick, shall we? By using these assets and working under this license, you adhere to the following terms. Number 1. You must give appropriate credit, provide a link to the license, and indicate if changes were made. You may do so in any reasonable manner, but not in any way that suggests the licensor endorses you or your use. Considering you say people who say the assets are from Double Rainbow are slandering you and have never once provided a link to the license, I think it's safe to say you're in clear violation of condition number 1. Number 2. You may not use the material for commercial purposes. Oh boy, we just hit your most major offense, didn't we? You do commissions where you clearly use double rainbow assets and outright charge egregious prices for them, up to $100 or more as a matter of fact. Even if the licensing was just boiled down to this one condition, Bliss would clearly be in the wrong here. But we still have one more note to hit. Number 3. If you remix, transform, or build upon the material, you must distribute your contributions under the same license as the original. Do I even need to make a point here? Everyone watching this knows exactly where I'm going with this last one. That's 3 strikes, Bliss. I'd give you credit for not applying additional restrictions, but oh, who am I kidding? With your track record being what it is so far, I'd go so far as to bet money you've done that as well. Now, to everyone who has paid Bliss for poses, you should be outraged. Of course, some of you, namely Chuggle, may bring up that you're happy with the finished product you got from her. And while I can't convince you that her work is subpar, I think it's not unreasonable to say that she's put you, your artwork, and your channels all at risk. The double rainbow assets are functionally DHX's property given their origins. It's not an unreasonable assumption to assume that if DHX comes down on Bliss for her actions, anyone who uses her clearly term-breaking assets will be open to copyright strikes and DMCAs as well. And we all know how much this community loves those. There are various other issues with Lightning Bliss's behaviors and actions as an artist that I could delve into, such as charging money for edits, but I think by now you all know the kind of artist she is. I've shown you how she hides behind an army of sycophant fans who will protect her from any naysayers. And now I'd like you to harken back to my original question I asked at the start of the video. Will the community treat the cause? Or just the symptoms? In the recent Toon debacle, I was given an immense amount of hope, despite all the kickback from those who still wanted to protect their idols. The idea that people would ever turn against one of the greats seemed impossible to me at that moment. So seeing it happen was one of the most amazing moments for me in this fandom in years. It was blind faith and fierce unwarranted protection that allowed Toon to get away with his behaviors for so long. It was the people who wanted to sweep it under the rug. Not just a pedophilic situation, but a general sexual deviancy, like how he groped a woman at a convention right next to her boyfriend with zero repercussions from his close crew. I'd love nothing more than to believe that the majority of people in this community have learned their lesson and will apply it moving forward. Whether or not that hope is crushed depends on how everyone responds here. Will you listen to the case, hold Lightning Bliss accountable, and present real social consequences for her actions? Or just call it a witch hunt? Christ, how long has it been since I made a video? Most people would say entirely too long. Personally, I think it hasn't been long enough. Fuck editing. Anyways, let's get down to business. No Jace here today. Very impromptu type shit. Writing and recording this on the same day because I got hit by the itch. Those of you who are creative types will know exactly what I mean by that. FabsCon. Everyone's heard of it. It typically gets nicknamed the Party Con, which is stupid because any con is a party con if you know where to look. But there's something else it's getting a rep for, and that's handing out bands like candy on Halloween. Most cons are pretty hesitant to hand out bands without public or private pressure to do so. Babs breaks the mold of that, however. If you disagree with them politically, your head is on the chopping block. For example, back during the 2019 BronyCon shitstorm, they were the very first con to ban me. Why? Because I didn't respect pronouns and therefore was immediately considered to be transphobic, which is a very political topic and one I disagree with, but also one I don't care enough to get into in this video. Of course, even after their ban, it didn't accomplish much in the end. Just take a look at BronyCon. See how well that went? I'm looking forward to the upcoming BabsCon game, Sonia. I'll make sure to say hi when I see you. Keep an eye out for me. And don't try to turn this into some sort of big threat. I never caused an issue at a convention proper in my life, and I have no intention of doing so going forward. But that was my experience. There's something fresh that has come up recently. For those unaware, there is a musician who goes by the name of Ethereum Apex, which sounds like some sort of powerful cyberpunk drug, so already I'm liking this guy. He's known for releasing a wide variety of music and creating art, although his art is, unintentionally, the shit of my nightmares. Seeing visible, more realistic hair on MLP characters is something straight out of the uncanny valley. But maybe that's just me. Anyways, he's been a bit of a figure of controversy due to his somewhat outspoken political beliefs. And these political beliefs have gotten him banned from BabsCon, which we've learned directly through an email correspondence between Ethereum and them, which is the only reason I'm even making this video. There are a lot of dumb people in this community who do a lot of dumb shit for dumb reasons. However, having the stupidity of an individual laid out in text in front of me is a special treat. So let's give it a glance, shall we? Unfortunately, yes, I can confirm that you have been blacklisted from attending BabsCon in any capacity. Oh, give me a fucking break. We haven't even finished the first sentence and already it's disingenuous as all hell. You don't care at all about Ethereum being banned. And that becomes blatantly apparent as the correspondence continues. To keep this short and to the point, the receipts of your public endorsement of white nationalism were brought to our attention. This is both entirely antithetical to the kind of community we foster at our con, and incompatible with any claim to love the work of Faust, McCarthy, Larson, Haver, Duboc, Vogel, et al. Oh boy, claims of white nationalism. Don't worry, folks, they provide us with logs later on to, quote-unquote, substantiate their claims. But for now, let me address the second half of this paragraph, because it's something I see all around and something I find to be one of the stupidest things people in this community say. First off, Ethereum can go to a con and leave his political opinions outside. Most people who go to cons don't start handing out pamphlets for whatever their ideology is. They go to see ponies and hang out with friends. What his beliefs are outside the convention have no effect inside the convention, unless there are others who start shit with them. At that point, assuming you care about self-accountability, that is on the other person for escalating things with them. They would be the aggressor in that situation. Now, on to the second part, and the part I was referring to when I was talking about extreme stupidity. At some point in the primordial ooze of the fandom, people started taking the show too seriously. Love and Tolerate went from being a meme to being a straight-up law of life for these people. One they're applying inconsistently, but a law of life nonetheless. Around this time, people started treating the show less as a form of entertainment where you get to see fun stories and cute ponies, and instead like a Bible. This is when the fandom was filled up by socially awkward, underdeveloped teenagers and young adults. Ones who looked to the show and idolized it, absorbing and contemplating the morals like a devoted Christian man contemplates Bible verses. Now here's where the shocker comes in, bronies. It's a fucking cartoon. Do you think I hop on Ren and Stimpy to learn some great lesson about the absurdity of life? Do you think I worship Wile E. Coyote and treat the cartoons like some kind of motivational piece on tenacity? Here, I'll take it one step further. I think the Dark Souls series is one of the greatest game series ever created. It's something I've spent hundreds and hundreds of hours on, learning both the lore and the game mechanics. There are lessons that can be gleaned from the game about the futility of life and the need to choose your own destiny. But guess what? Some people just want to hit big niggas with a giant sword. Does that mean these people are incapable of loving Dark Souls? Fuck no. It's a form of entertainment. I get that you niggas are from San Francisco, but dislodge your nose from your asshole and get off that high horse. It's a show. The only people who treat it as anything more than that are underdeveloped, socially awkward man-children. Fucking check yourselves. Back to the email. BabsCon was built using the message from MLP FIM of friendship among diverse groups as its ideal. And we, its creators and staff, will, in our imperfect human way, do everything we can to manifest that in person. For one long weekend a year, and online year-round. Dear God, the religious views of the show are full front and center here. Sounds like they're fucking prostrating themselves in front of some shrine to Celestia, talking about imperfect human ways and shit. I'm so sick of people in this community attempting to use the show as some holy weapon to smite people who they disagree with. It's a shit attempt at justification and morality preaching. Fuck off. The receipts I was shown were recent, written by you and unequivocal. Furthermore, disingenuously trying to appeal to the paradox of tolerance isn't going to work. Unequivocal, you say? Well, I look forward to seeing these tweets at the end of this email. They must be pretty damning if you're speaking the truth. For now, let's focus on the second part of this email. The paradox of tolerance is an argument that has recently become commonplace in leftist circles. I should know. I'm in those circles myself. The idea that gets touted is that tolerance should be extended around to all ideas except those that are intolerant. Putting aside the obvious implications of how many other fucked up stances this could support, this is quoted from a philosopher named Karl Popper. And it's a good thing he's dead, because he'd be pissed seeing these people blatantly misrepresenting what he said, because that's just what they're doing. Allow me to read an excerpt from him that these kinds of people so often make a point to leave out, because he addresses this mindset point blank. I do not apply, for instance, that we should always suppress the utterance of intolerant philosophies. As long as we can counter them by rational argument and keep them in check by public opinion, suppression would certainly be unwise. I'd hate to break it to you people. White nationalism isn't surging and taking over the country. While it's a lot more noticeable right now due to the political divide that's been growing for ages, white nationalism is still a very fringe concept that most people do not subscribe to or support. So long as you can have discussions with people who support the ideal of white nationalism, the man you quote says it's unwise to approach things in this manner. But really, it's obvious why it's typically used in this manner. People like this on the left are very concerned with maintaining the moral high ground. Their approach requires them to vilify the other side while seeming as good as possible themselves. It's an appeal to morality rather than logic. When they are put in a situation where they are clearly being intolerant and the aggressor in the situation, they need to be able to shrug that moral burden off their shoulders to continue seeming like the better person. Now, here's the thing. I'm actually chill with a few white nationalists. I do not support white nationalism. However, I thoroughly enjoy hearing about it and learning the motivation behind it. It also gives me a chance to express my own ideology and beliefs, which may or may not end up sticking with people. I am not afraid to do this, because I am very confident in my stances. I have nothing to fear by conversing. Why are you so afraid, Babs? They then go on to explain that certain isms aren't ideology, but just hate. I don't want to bother getting into it. Ideology is a very inclusive term when it comes to a belief system. This paragraph is just a poor attempt at trying to disassociate themselves from political intolerance. Even on MLP, some villains were irredeemable, and we live in a far worse place and time than the Equestria Fim. So this is it, huh? We finally reached it. We're now in an era where there are more dangerous things than a parasitic, alien-like hive bent on consuming emotion and thought. More dangerous things than the raw incarnation of chaos completely transforming the world and laws of reality. More dangerous than an unhinged, neglected sorceress driving the world literally to a more dead state than if every country on Earth launched its nukes. What gets me is how you're putting Ethereum on the level of the worst villains of MLP by implying that he is somehow irredeemable. Are you seriously that unhinged and sheltered that this man is fucking Satan to you? Get over yourselves, you absolute pussies. Insert paragraph of them just doubling down here. Until and unless you disavow an ideology of hate, we're done here. I mean, it's factually an aspect of ideology, and it isn't necessarily one of hate either. That's just how you've decided to represent it. Of course, I thought you said some villains were irredeemable. Why are you now giving him the option of redemption? Pick one, you inconsistent chuckle fucks. This video is already a bit long, so let's go over the 3 images Babs has provided as evidence for their claims against Ethereum. Let's see how truly dangerous he is. Blamau, neo-Nazi. There's that slur again. White genocide is very real, dude, and has actual numbers and research to prove it exists. You've been watching way too much TV. While I wouldn't call it a slur, it is an often misused term by the same types of people who cite the paradox of tolerance. It's another attempt at assuming the moral high ground above an individual. As for white genocide, I was never a fan of the term genocide. However, it is a fact that those who are white are having less and less children, while minority races are breeding at a much faster rate. This leads to a decline of whites relative to those of other races. This is not an opinion, it is a fact. How you choose to interpret this fact is on you, but you cannot deny its existence. No one believes whites are superior to others. There's no such thing as white supremacist. It's nothing but a media slander. You know, fun fact, I don't know any white supremacists. Just a handful of white nationalists I've met over time. For those unaware of the difference, white supremacy is the belief that whites are supreme to other races. White nationalists are those who believe in ethno-states, or nations where there only exists one race. I support neither personally, but it's very interesting hearing what people who do believe that this should be the case have to say to justify it. That aside, Ethereum here doesn't even believe in white supremacy, which, like the denial of white genocide by others, is blatantly incorrect. White supremacy and white supremacists exist. There are people who believe the white race is superior to others. You can't deny that. That is reality. On to the final post. Ubers are a sneaky way of giving third world migrants easy access to young white women. I mean, that isn't even an illegitimate concern. It's not something I'd personally worry about, but there is a serious cultural divide between first world countries and third world countries. People from less developed parts of the world do not share our customs and norms. They need to adjust to them over time. Obviously, not every one or even most of them will do what Ethereum is implying here, but there's a concern there, albeit overblown. But with all my disagreements being out there with Ethereum and with Babs, I don't believe either of you should be restricted from speaking your thoughts or attending locations because of your beliefs. Just like I'm doing now, I welcome the chance to address the stupidity behind your beliefs. I'm confident in my stances. I'm confident that my ideas will win over your ideas in the long run. Clearly, however, Babs is not so confident. I'd like to close out this video by saying I'm going to be dropping a TED Talk link in the description below. Many of you have likely already seen it. It's of a black man telling his story about how he met with the KKK frequently and discussed both their ideas, stances, and just random bullshit. And guess what? His approach to the situation worked. Do not attempt to tell me again that the paradox of tolerance requires that you silence people like Ethereum. It is nothing short of a blatant, flagrant lie. You know better.
What do you get when you take one thing that you promised over a month ago, and then when you finally get around to doing it, your mind says, "F it, here's some writer's block." Then for weeks you struggle writing a script about this person whose content you really admire and is someone you look up to in the bro analysis community. You get this video.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk to you again.
What's up, every pony? My name is GameLink, and it's Small Rainbow Alicorn time. Indeed, it's time to talk about one of the most recognizable faces in the Brony fandom, Lightning Bliss. Now, if you're in the Brony fandom and you have at least a basic grasp on the analysis community and you don't know who Lightning Bliss is, I have one question for you. How's life under that rock you're under? You get all nice and settled down there? Nice. Now it's time to crawl out from under it and learn a little bit. Bliss has sometimes been called the best analyst in the fandom and has inspired many people, myself included, to do analysis. And hell, with her abundance of amazing art that is pretty much show quality, it's no wonder how she became such a huge name in the Brony fandom. A question that pops up the most when I hear people say she's one of, if not the best in the fandom, is, was she always so great? Was her content always so entertaining, and was her art always so great? Well, to answer the question about the art being great, I say no. Bliss's art started out not so good. Some weird shading here and there, and it just doesn't look too right. It doesn't really look like Bliss made it. It more so just looks like a recolor, especially in this one picture. But her art today looks phenomenal, and you can see that she spends a lot of time on her work. Her videos, on the other hand? Well, let's find that out for ourselves and take a look at Bliss's first and most recent reviews. Starting us off is Bliss's first review all the way from 2014, The Lightning Bliss Show, Episode 1. The video begins with a quick 12-second intro, and we immediately jump into the review. One thing noticed right off the bat is that, despite her microphone being very low quality, it actually sounds a bit better than her current microphone. What do I mean by this? I'll explain later. Anyway, one thing you'll also notice is her OC design. It's generally the same as now, however, it does have some differences. For example, old Bliss has a cloak. The tail looks less impressive and it looks a bit rushed, and it generally just doesn't look up to par with Bliss's current art. As for the review, well, she starts by giving some background on not only the first generation of the show, but also her background with My Little Pony in general, even bringing up the fact that her nostalgia forced her to go to a video store and buy a copy of the My Little Pony Attack of the Smooths movie when she was 23. And yes, sadly it is the one you're thinking of. The one with the humans, and also the one not funny in the slightest, despite it trying so hard to be funny, but we'll talk about that mess some other time. Maybe. For now, we get a little lesson on good storytelling from Professor Bliss, and she expresses one major problem with the original MLP movie, and that was the fact that it was strictly appealing to the little girl demographic. It could no longer satisfy her nostalgia craving for ponies. Luckily for her, Friendship is Magic swooped in and saved her nostalgia and reassured her fears of it being obliterated by its new reboot. Bliss then explains how she has now loved the show for years and has even joined the MLP forums after rediscovering her love for the show. She then goes on to further discuss her experiences in the fandom and talks about her inspirations for analysis in the fandom. Ironic I bring that up, considering she's one of my biggest inspirations for analysis in the fandom. And that's really how the video wraps up. It's no real analysis or anything, and I guess this video is meant to be more of an introduction to her content rather than an actual review. Her video quality was decent and nothing too special, but let's see how she's upped her game nearly 3 years later with her review of A Hearth-Swarming Tale. This video starts with a full minute of Bliss reading off the names of her Patreon patrons. Exciting! Already a large step up. Ah well, a minute's just a minute. I mean, it's not like it takes up a large portion of the video, right? You mean to tell me that for about 1/6 of this review, we don't even get a review? I mean, I do things before my intro too, but A, those are gags, and B, they normally last at most 20 seconds. I understand she wants to thank her Patreon supporters, especially with the adpocalypse going on, but save it for the end. This isn't me trying to be mean. This is something pretty important. I mean, don't get me wrong. Thanking these people is the right thing to do, but if you do it at the beginning of the video, it almost seems like you're delaying the review. I'm not throwing up my arms and screaming, "Where's the review? I'm unsubscribing!" Ah! But I am kind of impatient where by the end I actually say to myself, oh right, this is a review. Moving on, we start the video with Bliss explaining how she wasn't exactly excited for A Hearth-Swarming Tale with her stellar mic quality.
Bring a downfall in Equestria's world magic-wise. Both a scary and nerve-wracking thought, to be sure.
Yeah, if there's one thing that definitely went down in quality for Bliss's videos, it was her microphone quality. Before it sounded a little more muffled, sure, but now it just sounds like she's using a gaming headset or a microphone without a pop filter. Anyway, Bliss tries explaining why she doesn't think the episode was great due to it being too cliche, and then she moves on to explaining what happened in the episode and talking about how she doesn't like how the episode didn't add anything new to the holiday special or even the show. And frankly, I kind of agree. Despite me loving this episode, it really didn't add anything new to the show or the Christmas Carol tale. In fact, I think I brought that up in my review as well. But this isn't a re-review of that episode, so I'll bite my tongue there. She then talks about some improvements she would have made for the episode, but does give the episode its proper compliments, and she ends it by calling the episode meh. Overall, it's apparent that in many fields, Lightning Bliss's content is vastly improving. Her editing looks nicer, her OC design, her analysis, everything. She's probably one of the best in the community and has inspired many like me to partake in the analysis community. She's not only a great content creator, but is just a great person overall. Her content is enjoyable enough to watch over and over again and still have a great time watching. There are flaws with her videos, yeah, especially in the audio department, but that shouldn't refrain anyone from watching and liking her videos. Some people also have a problem with her OC and it being a Mary Sue. I honestly don't see it as much as other people see. And at this point, I feel like it's just kind of become a bandwagon people jump on. Yeah, I can agree there are some aspects of a Mary Sue in her, but I don't think it's as radical as some claim it to be. Lightning Bliss, in my opinion, is truly entertaining and someone whose content I really enjoy. Whether you enjoy Bliss's reviews, her reactions, her let's plays, or her art, I think it's practically fact that Bliss has grown a large following, and in my opinion, it's a following well deserved. Bliss, if you see this, just know that you are a major inspiration to many like myself, and don't stop doing what you do best. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm GameLink Brohuff, I'm out, and I'll see you all in the next video. Wow, I finally got that out of the way. After weeks of nothing but shitposting, I finally got a proper review out. It sucks the new episodes are coming out soon, but hey, I already have my script for the next episode since it got leaked. But for now, it's time to upload this. Let me just check my subscribers and channel content. Oh my god. This is amazing! For almost 3 years of making content, I finally hit the big 1K! Thank you all so much for this. I just can't believe it. Now, the question is, what do I review? I know. I'll review something huge, something massive, something larger than life. Mares and gentle colts, fillies of all ages. I, GameLink Reviews, am going to review the...
I hope you guys enjoyed this. Have you guys been excited for part 3 of the many more problems of Blind Bliss? I hope you have. And, sorry it took me so long. I think it took me only 14 days to do this, sorry. But I really do hope you can enjoy this, so like, comment, subscribe, hit the little notification bell so you don't miss any videos, and stay tuned for another episode of the problems of the Brony analysis community, part 3 or 4. I don't know. I think I'll do the problems of Mad Munchkin part 1 next week. I don't know. I'll think about it. Bye.